Jeremy, welcome to Cannes. Last year you were at DDB, and in March this year, after 25 brilliant years, great award-winning ad sailor, you decided to leave and have a great break from your previous career. But now, only a month ago, you've taken a challenging job at Innocean as a worldwide creative director. Their main clients are, as everyone knows, is Kia and Hyundai, and I'm sure they're looking for other things around the world. So you're looking forward to that, and what can you contribute with your background?
I mean, very much looking forward to it. I mean, I don't start until August the 10th. I'm still got a little bit of holiday time left. But I think for me, the main difference between my role before and what I'm going into was it's not just looking after like one piece of business or even two pieces of business. It's looking at improving a whole network and having power over each individual office and trying to improve the work and also the strategy in all those offices, rather than just focusing solely on one client and its creative work. So the challenges are certainly sort of like broader, and it's something that I can't actually wait to get started.
Yeah, because the broadness is the key, because Innocean's so, the two clients are,
yes,
they're in-house agency basically.
Totally.
But there are other clients in the network.
Yes, very much so in the Seoul office and in the LA office in particular.
But that's it's almost unknown outside the network, really.
I know, and the income from.
So what's the percentage? Do you know?
I know at one point it was only 50% was Hyundai and Kia, so there was quite a lot. So it's going to have a lot more variety, I think, is what I was looking for, than just looking after car accounts. And I think the great thing about Hyundai and Kia is that they are both fantastic accounts, and I don't think the world knows how good the brands are.
Oh yeah, they're great cars.
Yeah.
I know, especially Kia. And in America, Kia's still with
David and Goliath. Yeah.
But obviously you're going to try and change that.
Hopefully not for long, yes.
Watch out,
yes.
boys.
Yes.
LA. You've got an LA office.
Yes.
I met him at the last judging thing I went to.
Right, at Huntington Beach.
Yes,
yeah.
I did. And so obviously that's the target for,
Yeah, I think I mean there are 21 offices at least, and I think there are probably 10 to focus on at the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think LA is absolutely one of them, because it's a big office.
Yep.
It's got great potential. I think Seoul actually is a very, very strong office, and I think obviously I'm going to spend a lot of time there at the beginning, because that's where all the head clients are, and get to know them and understand what their sort of ambitions are for the brands. Yes, because there's no point just going in there going, oh, let's go and change this and change that. I mean, there might not need to be any change. It's one of those things. I think it's just, hopefully, we can just sort of like push on in a better direction.
So your role, obviously, is to hire and fire people. I mean, to say hire.
Yeah.
And that'll be a lot of changes around the world, I would imagine, over the next 2 years. Are you sort of giving everyone a go for the first?
Oh, totally. I don't want to go straight. I don't.
To see what their potential.
You never know. Exactly, because you just don't know what's going on behind the scenes of an office. Whether it's a CEO and a creative director not getting on well, whether there's a client problem, or whether they're all good but they haven't been just put in the right room together and just had an honest conversation.
So you can do.
I'm not going to go storming in and firing people and this and that. I can understand the brand, and its different sort of like guises, I guess, around the world. So.
Do you have a system like Bob used to have at Saatchi, and probably DDB, where you had the global group of creative directors getting together regularly?
Yes, and that's what actually.
Trying to do more
that's what Innocean bought Bob into do initially. From just because they weren't.
He's a creative advisor.
Yes, and they weren't talking. Nobody was really talking to each other within the network. So that will keep going, and
But is Bob's role is redundant because he's employed you in a way, or is he still going to be?
No, he's still going to be involved in the Creative Council and be an advisor to Madame Chung and Mr. Ahn, and actually it's great because he's got 2 years' knowledge over me.
Of course.
So I can really lean on him about, come on, is this guy really good enough, or I think this guy's great. But why? Yeah. So it's going to be.
But
It's my spy.
Volkswagen, your Volkswagen experience obviously was really probably the best brand in advertising in the world. And you've seen some Hyundai, Kia advertising. I think Kia has been more like Volkswagen in its early days.
Yeah.
You know, not necessarily by Innocean, but you know, with David McGuire early work. So there's a little bit of a heritage of doing good work.
Yeah.
And there's been some stuff in Sydney, you know, about maybe 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
But what's their brand? Is it a bit cheeky like a Volkswagen?
I think
sometimes?
so. I mean, first of all, I don't want to make either of those brands like Volkswagen. I think.
Oh no, I meant no.
I know what you mean.
There's an advertising opportunity.
No, but
they're not bland.
No. And I think actually somebody said to me, it was very, very interesting last week when it was announced that I was going to Innocean, saying it's really funny that both Hyundai and Kia are almost like Volkswagen. A lot of people, a lot of people laughed at them when they came out, and then suddenly go, actually, this is a brilliant brand. So that business problem is the same. It's just I think we need to do something totally different. I think for me, what needs to is they're inconsistent, and I think as brands, and I think we need to sort out the strategy kind of almost first before we kind of sort out the creative, which is like what do those brands want to be,
what do they mean,
and separate rather than just. I think there are times when a Kia ad becomes a Hyundai ad and vice versa, but. And I think the great thing is that it's not like the work's rubbish at all. It's good.
It's selling well.
Yeah, and it's working. I think the branding could be stronger, and certain other things could work better. But
I think that if you did better work, obviously, as a network, you're going to attract better people if you need them. I mean,
and then better people, and then new clients, and then grow. I mean, it's a simple remit, as you said in campaign previously. Make the work better, grow the business.
And you can get some good people to join you on the same journey.
Yeah, absolutely.
So obviously this year's a bit. I haven't even looked at Innocean's prospects. You haven't joined them yet. But this is presumably it's a watershed year, looking at where they are.
Yeah.
They're not the world's #1 credit network at the moment.
No, and do you know what? And they know it, and that's the great thing.
And they're here at least.
Yes, and they're here, and they play a big part in the opening and closing parties and stuff like that. So it's not like
swings. They got nice swings.
No, they are. But I think the desire is there, and it comes right from the top.
Yes.
And that's really important, and I really believe in them, and I think. I think the work can get better. I think we need to manage expectations for let's say this time next year. I would be looking much more at 2017. Realistically, I'd like to make a difference in a year, but I think a big difference in 2 years is what I.
And you'll be based mainly in London with lots of travel.
Mainly in Heathrow, yes.
So it's not like you have to go too far for.
No. There's a strong, there's a big office in Frankfurt, and LA. There's Sydney's now, new hire there. There's
quite
Delhi.
a bit of a network. It's not a small network.
No, it's not. No, and they all have their own little sort of like, I wouldn't say problems that need solving, but little things that could.
That you can hopefully tweak.
Yes.
Yeah.
And not
tweak.
worse.
Yeah. Well, look. Have a good week. Nice to talk to you, and we'll see you soon at the campaign brief party.
See you on Wednesday.
About 1 minute away.
Okay. Oh yeah. And the column door.
No, the one here.
Okay.
Cheers.